More marketers are running turn-off experiments. Should you? Following the lead of P&G, Chase, Uber, eBay and Airbnb, more and more marketers are running their own turn-off experiments. Some of these experiments started during the pandemic in 2020, when marketers paused their digital spend, but found that their sales continued or even increased. Now, as marketers are turning digital marketing programs back on and facing tighter budgets and more scrutiny going forward, they are looking more closely at what worked and what didn't work. In the past, many marketers didn't want to rock the boat. They preferred the relative safety of continuing to do what they've always done. A little voice told them no one got fired for buying more ads, especially at lower prices. And that worked nicely with their need to spend it all anyway. But that's not going to fly anymore going forward when the CFO and CEO are looking more closely at digital spending and asking if it were actually generating incremental outcomes. Even with this in mind, most marketers are not prepared to turn off $200 million like P&G or $800 million like Airbnb. What follows are examples of smaller steps that marketers are taking right now to truly test the effectiveness of their digital marketing and to improve it in the process. Turn off domains and apps. Marketers, do you get detailed placement reports that show you where your ads ran? More specifically, do those reports list the domains and app names and the quantities of ads that ran on each? If you're not getting that right now, you're getting ripped off. Your digital ad budgets are flowing to fake or non-existent sites and apps, and definitely now being shown to humans. Get yourself those reports. Next, do you look at those reports? If you did, you'd probably notice strange domains and apps, like the ones listed in the following slide. Even if you wanted to visit one of those sites, how long would it take for you to type that domain name correctly? Right, those are domains and apps that no humans would ever use. But countless such sites and apps are being used to commit digital ad fraud at scale. When you see such sites and apps in your placement reports, you can add them to a block list to stop wasting money on them. Turn-off, ad tech targeting marketers were led to believe that more targeting is better, that is more relevant ads for consumers. But sadly, the only people who think ads are better targeted are the marketers themselves and the ad tech companies that sold them the targeting services. If you asked any consumer, they don't recall seeing the ad, they don't recall the contents of the ad. Even if they saw the ad, they don't think it's relevant, and all of the above apply only if they didn't block the ad in the first place. Furthermore, did you know that most of the targeting and audience segments sold by ad tech companies are inferred? This is because users are not logged in when visiting content websites. So ad tech companies plant hidden trackers on publishers' sites to track users. They use third-party, 3P cookies to identify anonymous users and re-identify them as they visit other sites. Over time, they build up a site visitation history for that cookie user and infer characteristics about them. But even for the most basic characteristics like gender and age, the inferences are comically bad. Turn off programmatic ad buying. If you've stuck with me so far, and perhaps have run some of the experiments above, then you may be ready to take the next step, and run the experiment of turning off programmatic media buying entirely for a week, a month, or longer. This is likely to save you significant money because 50% of your dollar goes to ad tech middlemen instead of towards showing ads when you buy through programmatic channels, compared to buying direct from good publishers. Further, there are significantly greater risks of fraud, waste, and hidden arbitrage when buying through programmatic channels, all of which reduce the productive part of your dollar down to 1 cent. Even if you assumed there was no risk of ad fraud, no risk of bad targeting, no risk of hidden waste and arbitrage, you're still only getting 50 cents of working media. If you cut out the ad tech intermediaries and bought directly from good publishers, the large ones that humans have heard of and do visit, you could save yourself half of the cost. In other words, you eliminate the 50% ad tech tax. Who pays 50% tax on anything? Well, you did, and will, if you continue buying through programmatic channels. And don't let them trick you by saying you're getting much better prices, like lower CPMs. Are you ready to take the next step?